Title: Dad acts like I'm obligated to spend the holidays with him. I apologize if this feels more like a rant than a story. I'm still angry from the whole ordeal. I'm also on mobile, so apologies for formatting. I was raised by a single father with whom I rarely saw eye to eye. He tried to mold me into his views of traditional masculinity, the good and the bad. He'd praise me when I excelled in certain roles, like a handyman or football player, but then be dismissive over crying or being bullied at school. He took his role as the disciplinary figure very seriously, even during the holiday season. My dad always throws a party for our family every Thanksgiving and Christmas. He provides great food, and some of my relatives are pretty decent. However, my dad is a terrible host. He had everyone come over, including people who were toxic to be around. I swear, every year, there's always some fight about the pettiest of things. All the vegans get is a salad. The kids shouldn't watch anything with Santa in it. A gift card. You couldn't have just sent me money. It's like they're so obsessed with making everything perfect that anything not going their way is unacceptable. On top of all that, my dad pretty much makes the parties all about him. He tries to micromanage a lot of activities, from the movies we'd watch to whatever we made conversation about. The worst was when he'd brag about me into sounding like he molded me into his views on traditional masculinity. He'll brag about I was the MVP in youth football, even though I hated it, or that I kicked ass in martial arts, even though that's not what it was about, nor why I enjoyed it. When I mention achievements I'm actually proud of, like taking up creative writing, or a new book I'm reading, he'll pay no heed. My dad says he's happy I have a GF, but also that he's glad I didn't turn out LGBT. As far as gifts go, he'd only get me things that he approved of, whether I wanted them or not. New boxing gloves or clay pigeons? Heck yeah. A PS4 or 3DS? Could be worse. A journal or the entire Harry Potter book series? No, I won't do that to you. Basically, I've come to associate the holidays with my dad asserting more dominance than usual, and being forced to interact with toxic family members. Fortunately for me, my GF's dad invited me to spend both Thanksgiving and Christmas with them. Finally, I think I'll get to enjoy myself for a change. Then, earlier today, my dad called asking me when I'm coming over for Thanksgiving. I told him I already said I wasn't coming, and that I'd be going to my GF's place. He said things like, "You always spend the holidays with your old man," or, "Your cousins like seeing you, you know." My cousins have stopped coming over for the holidays for years. I tried arguing that inviting family over might not be a good idea anyway due to the pandemic. People like my grandpa or Uncle Devin are at a higher risk. He called bullshit on that since you don't seem worried about giving your GF COVID. I've tested negative, and nobody coming over is at high risk. Then, my dad went on this tirade. "Oh, I see how it really is. You still think I'm a terrible father, right? You'd rather throw me and your whole family under the bus when all we want is to spend the holidays with you. I'm offering you free food and family time, but you'd rather piss it down the drain than be grateful I'm even allowing you into my home. You're welcome, by the way." I've told my dad many times how bad he makes me feel, about myself or even just in general. He'd argue, "I gave you everything you needed to survive in this tough world. If I made you feel that bad, how'd you get so good at karate? You wouldn't know how to get a GF if it weren't for me." In other words, my feelings are invalid because I still succeeded in some aspects of my life. Seeing as we weren't getting anywhere, I hung up. I hate it when my dad guilt trips me like this because, as much as everyone's told me he's wrong, there's still some part of me that feels like I should feel guilty. I get that Christmas and Thanksgiving are about family, but, for once, I'd like to be with a family that's actually fun to be around. Others have said I should be grateful I even have a dad, let alone one that's taken care of me. That's like saying having a dog that barks and bites you is better than being petless. I dunno, I just want a nice holiday season for once. Thanks for hearing me out. I don't have many other outlets to vent outside of Reddit, and I'd rather not dump all this on my GF. Edit. For further context, I'm 22 in my second year of community college. My dad is paying for most of my expenses, and I'm under his health insurance. He's frequently threatened to cut me off of both, but hasn't done so yet. Also, my GF's mother passed away this summer, so I want to be there to support her during the holidays. Title: My child isn't allowed to play with Black Panther. So, this happened a few weeks ago, not to me but to a coworker of mine. I dunno if this counts as entitled, but I just want to share this story. I work at a McDonald's in my town. I open in the wee hours of the morning to keep the store clean for all you loving customers. Especially with what is going on. You're welcome. Anywho, around 10:30 a.m. we start lunch only on weekdays, and we started to get busy quick. A lot of parents will order Happy Meals for their children and maybe a small drink or coffee for themselves. I've noticed this pattern. My coworker, we will name Sam, was working in the back cash first window. She takes orders and pays out the orders to keep drive-through moving. Around 11 a.m.-ish, this older gentleman, could be a grandpa, I dunno, comes back to the drive-through. Sam opens the window. Disclaimer, I may be paraphrasing the conversation. This is just how my coworker described it. Sam, is there something wrong? Grandpa, yes, I just ordered this Happy Meal for my grandson. He can't play with this toy. The grandpa throws the toy at Sam. It was a little Black Panther toy. Our store, along with all the others worldwide, are doing a thing with Marvel and their superheroes, so the first toys of the week, or at the time, was Black Panther. Sam looks at the grandpa. Is there something wrong with it? Is it broken? I can easily replace it for you. Grandpa, no, he can't play with it because he's African American. I honestly didn't know, or can remember, what happened next. I assume Sam gave him a different toy that we had available or just said, sorry, that's all we have. Whatever happened, Sam kept the line going. In my opinion, I would have given the grandpa more credit if he had said, he can't play with it, because Black Panther is a insert racist you know what word. But, customers come and go. I don't think Sam will ever see him again. I hope you enjoyed this story and sorry if this is the wrong subreddit to share this story. Title: Do I like my bed too much? Warning: Mobile user description: My bed is a twin-size memory foam-like bed, has high thread count sheets, a nice comforter, and 4 pillows, 1 regular fluffy pillow, 1 fluffy long pillow, and 2 my pillows. I don't sleep under the covers, 'cause I'm weird, and I have a fluffy blanket and an electric blanket. Cast: Mom, my mom, me background, my mom liked to cuddle up in my bed in the middle of the night with me when she can't sleep. Cute, right? It is, but when she does, she pulls the comforter and the top sheet out from under me. This then rolls me to the edge of my twin bed, and when she gets under them, she rummages all the way to the back of my pillow pile to get the my pillow, and puts it in front of the long pillow. My little 4-pillow stack then collapses as she has taken the support of the stack, the my pillow. She tosses and turns, and by the time I wake up, the my pillow is most likely on the floor, and the sheet and comforter are both scrunched up underneath me like a knot on my back. Story: This takes place Tuesday night and Wednesday morning after the 2020 election day in November, 11:30 p.m. to 12 o'clock a.m. I go to my couch and take a pillow off of it and place it beside my bed for my mom to use. Then my mom comes in and ignores the pillow. This is the conversation we had before she left my room. Few hours later, me, picking up pillow: Mom, what is that? Me, I got a pillow off of my couch for you to use instead. Mom, well, I don't want to use that one, I wanted to use the my pillow. Now I'm gonna see who the president is. P.S. Please understand that my mom was really tired and she isn't really a morning person. I only posted this to cool down after this happened. I love my mom, so please don't think she's a bad person because of this one post. I hope you enjoyed. Update: There are 3 beds in my house. Title: An entitled mom slapped me and my mom went crazy on her, so this story happened back when I lived in Oman. Their people aren't the nicest. This story I didn't overreact, but I think my mom did. So this particular day it was very hot, unusually hot. There is a hotel nearby that we can visit all the time. Sometimes the weather can get as hot as 46 degrees Celsius, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets so hot down there that even the water can be too hot. One day I met an entitled parent and her 2 kids. They were both around 15 to 17. I was 11 to 12 when this happened. So they splashed me like how everyone plays around in the pool. I splashed back. I can remember myself getting overpowered by their strong waves. Also they were laughing on the side, so that doesn't help them out one bit. Eventually I couldn't keep fighting, so I pushed myself one last time. I jumped up and I grabbed a hold of the entitled mom's bra. I had no idea if I got onto anything because all the water being splashed around had blinded me. Then the entitled mom slaps me right in the face. My dumbass self just quietly muttered sorry. But the mama bear came out of my mom. She was on a little island in the middle of the pool and had a semi-view of what went on. My mom screamed out, "Hey," jumped in the water, then confronted entitled mom, screaming and telling her off. I remember in that moment everything and everyone was silent. Reminder, I was only 11 at the time, so this was basically hitting a minor. So my mom reminded her that I'm still young. I don't remember everything she said, but it was enough to force entitled mom out of the hotel. After that, about a month or 2 later, we met the entitled parent again. This time she didn't try any shenanigans, but I was treated like a king, probably in fear of meeting my mom again, but the rules are very different than in the US. About a couple months go by and my parents break up. I never wanted it to happen, but it was gonna eventually come. After that we moved to New York and my dad has stuck around, then moved out to Argentina. Honestly, I was very shocked at that. My mom did serve in the military in the early 2000s but had to back out because she had me in 2004. From then my mom was a badass even to this day. She is not like any other women. She has put on some weight but has morphed that weight into muscle. Her arms are bigger than mine. She now works as a corrections officer, which means she is making sure any prisoners are in check. She can even make inmates scared of her. The moral of the story is never mess with my mom. After making this text I had talked to my mom about this and all she said was that she deserved it. I did grab her bra, yes, but I had no idea what I had hooked onto and their constant splashing had blinded me.